Hi, this is H. Victoria Hogger Atkerson. I'm an author and a writer, and I wanted to invite you to think about being a writer, because I think we need more, especially people of color. We need you to write. We're a minority in this country, and I think we have a wonderful story to tell. And some of those stories are golden, and we need to get them out there. They're little gems in our history, which has been severely neglected in this country. So think about writing. Give me a call. Drop me a line. Let me get you started, okay? So this week, I am just going to concentrate on the questions and comments that you made on my broadcast, so that I can get to some of those and kind of clear them away, because they seem to be mounting, and I need to make sure that I cover them for you, and that you know that I'm listening. I am reading them, and a lot of them are great. And thank you for the positive responses. It's been really neat. I really enjoyed doing this. So thanks. Don't forget to touch your like button, and also to subscribe to this program, okay? It's very important. All right, here we go. Now, I've gotten this question, and I can say this is probably the first time that someone has asked me about this particular subject. They wanted to know about where I write. Do I have a writing studio? Do I have a writing den? Where do I write? So I'm going to tell you in a word: everywhere. I do have a writing study. I do. And I think maybe at some point I'm going to change from this milieu to my writing den, so you can actually see where the writing occurs. One of the things that I love about having a special place to write, because like I said, I write everywhere, but my serious writing, my most intense writing, I do in my writing studio, or my office, whatever you want to call it, because in there I can saturate myself in the world that I'm trying to create. Now, one of the things I advise all writers to do is to do a storyboard. That means putting up pictures and things that make you think about the location or the environment that you're writing in. Pictures, little sayings, whatever. Just put them up on a bulletin board and leave them there, and you'll be surprised how that inspires you. I just finished doing this book on slavery, and as depressing as that is, I kind of surrounded myself with that topic. Pictures from old slave ships, the slave quarters at the bottom of the ship, where they had their prisoners locked in and chained to the ship itself. So those types of things I did, and also I put down the location where the story began, which was in the Congo Delta, and I did a lot of reading about the Congo and the lifestyle on the Congo River, and I surrounded myself with those pictures, and they were invaluable to me as I did my writing. So that was really one of the things that make it real to me. Now, I didn't do this, but I can advise you to do this, because I think it's a very good tool to use. Music. Use the music. I could have used the music from the Congo, but I feel like at the time I felt so much music in my body, I didn't need any extra stimuli. But like if you're writing about New Orleans, you want to do the New Orleans blues or whatever. Chicago's a famous blues person, famous blues place. If you're doing country music, or writing about a situation that happened in the Ozarks, you want to make sure that country music is there to help stimulate your brain. If you're doing something southern, bluesy, or funky, you want to do, surround yourself with that type of music. So I think it's a good tool. Like I said, I didn't use it for Africa because I felt like I had that in my body and I was really entrenched in the culture. So, but I did do a lot of research on slave ships and tribes of Africa. I did a lot of research, so I felt that I was prepared to sit down and write. But only you can tell me when you get the book, and hopefully it will be out later this month. So keep your eyes open. Here we go. So we talk about the place. Sometimes people tell me that you shouldn't write with the TV on. I write with in any situation. The TV doesn't interfere with my writing. With some people, I can understand it does. So if that's something that you cannot tolerate in your writing environment, then cut it out. Do not do that. I find that the words in my brain are enough because I can envision everything. Sometimes it's totally silent because there's enough noise up here for me to have enough of a stimulus to do the writing. Just like in the slave stories, and there are two, a part one and a part two, I could hear those people. I could hear them singing. I could hear the beating of the drums. I could hear that. And even on the slave ship, I could hear those waves hitting the side of the ship. I could feel the turbulence of that ship. So surround yourself with what you need to do the writing. I think that's really critical. And of course, your writing instruments, whether it's pen or pencil. I love to write by hand because I think that's a personal thing that you do. It seems like the energy comes out of your body and onto the page. So it's a very mysterious thing that happens when you're doing it by hand. Although I love that, it's easier and quicker to do it on the computer. And that same process goes, but it's not as personal as that pen and pencil. The pen, the paper, there's something about the contact of that paper and that pen that makes it magical. I tell you, it's nothing like it. So I invite you to do that. And I have tons of legal pads. I mean, I do legal pads all the time. Here are several here. I have two here that I've had. And just to show you what, I'm always writing by hand. And although I have to transfer this information after I finish writing it, I have to transfer it to the computer, which is a tedious process. And this is another little booklet I have, and I do all kinds of writing in it. So, word to the wise there, okay? They use everything. But the writing area, my writing area has lots of books because I don't like running to the library every time I need information. So I have a library that I use, lots of reference books. I don't have to go to the library every time I turn around. But also, I have, let's see, different things to inspire me to write. But it doesn't matter what type of machine you use, whether you're writing on a computer, a laptop, or a tablet. Even your phone, it doesn't really matter. As long as you get the words down and that you pull all those elements together. I may use 2 or 3 different instruments and paper, but I'll concentrate that back to my computer where I do most of my writing. And then I have to redo that, either transfer it electronically or manually. I have to do that. So that's just a tip for you. It's very important that you protect that space. I will say it's very important to protect your writing space, whether you're sitting on the bed or whatever. And get accustomed to telling your family and friends, I'm writing. That means I don't get distracted, and I do not want any interference in that process. So it's really important that you claim it and protect your space and your time when you're writing. So get the work done. That's the most important thing, right? Okay, thank you so much for listening, and thanks for these great questions. You guys are great. I never thought about my writing spot before, but it's really, really important because I write everywhere. It doesn't really matter, you know. It depends on when and where I'm inspired. I'll take a pen and pencil and write it down. And I don't care if I'm in a meeting, in church, or whatever. I'm writing, okay? A writer writes. It's one of my favorite sayings. I keep that sign up in my office. A writer writes. So get a sign and put it somewhere near you where you can see it and say, a writer writes. And make sure you do that, okay? We come to the end of our time again. So I'm going to ask that you look for me on Kindle, Barnes & Noble, and on my website. Make sure that you look me up, buy my books, and read them and let me know what you think, okay? So before you go, push the like button to say that you like the information you're getting, and also subscribe to my channel. That'll guarantee that our electronic relationship can continue. This is great. You guys, take care. I can't wait to get to the next question. You're going to love this one. Take care. Love to you.